Okay, so it's 11 a.m. Hey everyone, welcome to Wellness Wednesdays. I'm your host Vindira, and I'm a board certified functional nurse health coach, and I own By Individual Health and Wellness. So I'm really excited to bring this series to life, and I'm hoping to educate and support and bring curiosity as well for this food and this lifestyle. I don't expect this to be really long, maybe about 15, 20 minutes, but we'll see how it grows and grows with time. So please, if you know anyone who can benefit from this group, please send them an invite to join or to share to your personal page, and I appreciate you for doing so. So if you are joining me live, say hi and tell me where you're from. You can tell me how long you've been gluten-free or free from any other allergen. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them. And if I don't know the answer, I'll definitely look it up and get back to it next week. So, so let's get into it. I want to talk about a big question that I'm always asked about. What is there left to eat when you eliminate gluten and other top allergens from your diet? And I always give the same answer. There is so much to eat. You really do have to get creative in the kitchen. So cooking eventually becomes necessary if you didn't know how to cook before. But when you have so many allergens and sensitivities, you really do have to learn how to cook and get creative in the kitchen. So when I first started out doing an elimination diet 6 years ago, I had to have a plan, otherwise we would have failed. So I decided that I needed to find junk food swaps. That was the first thing because I thought it might make the transition a little bit easier for my children. So, we snacked a lot. We loved eating food, and I still say the same thing. We still love food. It doesn't change. We just swap a little bit the ingredients, and that's okay. It's still food that we're eating. But so for breakfast was one of the hardest things because we ate so much bread. We ate waffles and eggs and cheese every morning. So this is where it becomes the most tedious and infuriating part when you become gluten-free and free from the other allergens. You learn that there's so much crap in food, and it's like, why does that even belong in there? So this was definitely a slap in the face to read the labels and realize what we were actually putting into our body. It's like a science experiment, in my opinion. So we literally spent hours at the grocery store on multiple occasions. It wasn't just once or twice. I mean, we still do it now, 6 years later, because ingredients do change in our favorite brands that we used to buy. So either we eliminated them as well, or we just had to move away and find what works for us instead. But reading the labels, looking for hidden ingredient names as well became another part, which I will cover in another video as well. But so after some research, I did find some of my favorite allergy-friendly brands, and I'm going to show you them right now. And that's really what this Wellness Wednesday is about, and hopefully we can grow by asking more questions. So the first thing I wanted to show you were cookies, because that was a big thing on our list. So this is the brand that I use, Simple Mills. And you can even look for the label that's gluten-free on here. But this is one of the cookie brands that we use, and I want to show you the ingredients. So we have the nutrition facts here, and then we have the ingredients here. And this is where we need to be reading. When you go to the grocery store and you're looking at that whole list of all these items, pick up each box and turn it over. Read the ingredients. If you can't pronounce it, if you feel like there's chemicals in there, just put it back. Or do what you can. When you're starting out, it really is just survival mode, and navigating food allergies is so hard. It really is hard, and you do have to be picky. But so this is one of our brands here. One of the newer cookie brands that we actually learned about was Otto's. So it's this one here, and I actually like the brand for the cassava flour, which I'll show you as well. Just turn it over, and then you can also read the ingredients list here as well. And so it's organic cassava flour, organic brown sugar, organic cane sugar, baking soda, sea salt. So this is another one. Now, Simple Mills also sells box pre-made cookies like the Chips Ahoy. They kind of sell like the same thing, like little miniature ones, and they're so addicting, they're so good. But they do have an extra ingredient, I think, if I remembered. But I felt like of recent they did change their ingredients, either the ratios or something, because there was definitely a different taste and color difference that even my son knows, because we've been eating it for quite a few years, and so that change kind of put us off, and that's why we ended up using these pre-made boxes, because we just haven't learned how to make our own cookie mix. Although my husband does experiment, so, but that's it. Other things that we like to try, Simple Mills, the brownie. This is a hit or miss. I don't really like to have it in our house, but my other son, he likes it. So I'm like, okay, we'll do it like once a month if anything. But these are the ingredient labels as well. So every time you pick up something, no, don't just read the nutrition facts, but I need you to read the labels, okay, the ingredients. And that's what I really tell all my clients to do. And I want them to show me pictures of what they're eating and ask me questions, okay? That's gonna be the biggest thing. So one of our cooking mixes that we like to use are the Simple Mills brand as well. And they have banana, muffin, and bread. They have almond. This is like one of our favorite ones. And you can even put fresh bananas in it too. Tastes really good. Again, just reading the ingredient labels here. So another snack item that we needed was chips. I have everything here on the table. So Siete brand was another brand that we liked. And again, the ingredient labels. But this was really good to have. We used it for guacamole, so making fresh guac was really a nice treat. We also made our own homemade salsa, or we would even buy the other salsa that they had at the store, and then I learned that it had citric acid inside of it, and then that actually caused me to break out. So you learn what foods you can and cannot have, what additives you can and cannot have. A new item that we recently found out about too were rice cakes. So this is cute. They even have individual bags too, which are really nice as little treats. I like to use these only when we're going out, like on a field trip, or if we're going out to, you know, we're vacationing. So, and we went on a Disney cruise. We packed a lot of these snacks, and although we actually ate a lot of food on Disney, I still brought a lot of snacks just in case we didn't have anything to eat. I wasn't sure how we were going to survive, but we actually did. And I can even make you make a little video and show you too about what I had, what we ate. So again, just reading the ingredient labels. And then looking for the certified gluten-free right here. That's important to note as well. I also like looking for the non-GMO symbol. And then also, I don't think this one's organic. Oh, it is. Organic label too. So having these are important. I don't use anything else on the front, like if it says sugar-free or salt-free. I don't like those kind of labels, and you'll quickly learn because when it has those labels like sugar-free, they could be putting other crap inside of the ingredients itself. So it's just better to look for these important labels: gluten-free, non-GMO, and organic. Popcorn is another one. I forgot to pack it. This is the individually packaged ones. We also use the 365 brand, the popcorn kernels, which we pop fresh as well. So that's also another option for snacks. So these are like all the snacks that we like to eat, and I had to find swaps for, because even like the processed popcorn, Pop Secret, I think it was called. So, you know, it just has so much stuff inside of it where you could just get with just simple ingredients. Like this one's just the organic non-GMO popcorn, organic extra virgin coconut oil, and Himalayan salt. So just 3 things inside of it, and that's all we really need. And if you get the popcorn kernels, it's just that, and then, you know, your own oil. Like we like to use olive oil that's made for frying, and then with Himalayan pink salt. So right there, you can see the snacks and the swaps, how we're transitioning from like the heavily chemically additive ones and versus the more, you know, strategic ones that are just more lesser in ingredients. And, you know, I don't like to say that it's healthy or not healthy, but it is cleaner in a sense, or not as, you know, there's a term called processed and then ultra processed. So I would say it's minimally processed versus the ultra processed. So these are another chips that we like, Boulder Canyon brand, certified gluten-free. And it literally just says potatoes, avocado oil, and sea salt. And I'll show you the label right there. Sometimes you have to hunt for the ingredient labels, but it's there. This was another new snack that we found. It's called granola clusters. So this is nice, a little treat here. It has buckwheat seeds, honey, pumpkin seeds, coconut shreds, coconut sugar, coconut oil, pure vanilla extract, sea salt, plant-based vitamin D3. Not too many of them, of course. So you also got to pay in mind, like just because something is a little bit more cleaner than what you're used to eating, you don't want to overindulge in these snacks, okay? So you still have to be mindful because you could, overdo it, right? One other thing that I had that we don't really buy it anymore is the Simple Mills crackers. So those are really cute. They're little miniature crackers, and I used to put almond butter on them, and we used to make homemade jam. And it'd be like those little Ritz peanut butter and jelly sandwiches it remind me of. So we would eat those as a little snack too. And then we also make rice cakes with almond butter, or we could even drizzle Enjoy Life chocolate morsels. I don't have the Enjoy Life chocolate morsels with me, but that's another brand that we use. Just simple rice cakes. I use it for the mornings. They even give you guys some ideas here. You could put almond butter instead of the Nutella. You can use bananas. You can use strawberries, avocados. So lots of options with rice cakes. And these are all pre-packaged foods. I'm not saying your pantry should be full of packaged foods. We also want to use whole foods, which I'm going to show you in a second as well. But these are all the snacks that I had to kind of prepare ourselves for while we're making that transition, because it was hard. And coming from, from how I grew up, we ate a lot of processed foods, and my mom did cook whole foods as well. But, we definitely snacked a lot, and that's what we care, especially when you grow up too, like in high school and college, you're just constantly eating things. And my husband and I, when we got married, we didn't know how to cook at first. So we definitely bought out a lot and a lot of processed food. So we're making a lot of changes. This is another one that we recently learned about, was the seaweed wraps. They're nice. We don't use iodized salt, so this is why it's good to eat this too, because it has iodine in it. Let's see. So that's it for the snacks for food-wise and for breakfast. So we use organic oats. And now I know there's a big thing between gluten-free oats and not gluten-free oats, and are they cross-contaminated? When you really get into gluten-free, there is like a 20 parts, right, where they allow gluten in your foods actually. So you'd have to be mindful if you react or don't react to it. And we can talk about that in another video as well, because there's a lot to learn about if you have celiac disease and versus non-celiac gluten sensitivity. But so we do use oats. Only my oldest actually eats oat waffles. I don't think the rest of us don't. But it's organic whole grain oats. It does has the organic symbol on it. Organic here, and then it says gluten free. So the next thing we also eat are Thai noodles. These are just rice noodles. It is rice and water. I think it's white rice though. It's delicious. It's a nice way to make noodles for us. I use it for street noodles. I use it for chow mein. So the next thing I used was cassava flour. So initially, we used to use siete wraps. They were in the fridge section, and they had like almond flour, they had chickpea, and then they had the regular one, which is what we would eat. I forgot what kind it was. But we would use that as our tortilla wraps because we didn't eat roti anymore. If you're Caribbean, you know what I'm talking about. So we didn't eat roti, and even just like making, tortillas or quesadillas. So we would use that, and then eventually we kind of felt like a little off with the taste. I felt off with the taste, and I'm like, let's just make it ourselves. So I found this brand here. There's an organic and not organic one. I do buy the organic cassava flour. The only ingredient here it says is organic cassava. It even tells you how to make the tortillas on here too. This is really easy. We eat it almost every day because it's just easy for us to make. I know there's a lot of talk also with cassava flour and lead and all those different things. If you're concerned, get yourself tested by your practitioner and just see what your levels are. I also go by how we're feeling, and that's a whole big thing with me with functional nutrition. What else is there? So Jovial is my favorite brand of pasta. This is made with brown rice pasta. And here's the ingredient labels. Well, the ingredient label. So organic brown rice, flour, and water. So they have so many different kinds. I even saw them at Publix, and so If they have BOGO deals, I would definitely recommend like keeping an eye out for that, because these are a little bit pricier, but they're so good. They do boil really well compared to the other brands that I have tried out before. And so this is what we've been using for like 6 years, I think. And then of course, rice. Rice is naturally gluten-free too. So we still make rice, like fried rice. We use coconut aminos instead of soy sauce. So you just learn how to use swaps, and that's really the big part when you start creating foods. And when someone asks you, how do you, what do you eat? Well, there's so much to eat. You just got to make the appropriate swaps for it. And that's why when I do my coaching calls with my clients, I don't want to just give you a meal plan. I want to know what you're eating over the next few days, and let me make some swaps for you, and we could discuss them, because that's the only way it's going to be sustainable long term. Okay, that was all prepackaged things. I'm going to show you the fresh stuff, because there's a lot. I think we don't think about all the fresh foods that we could eat. So we have raspberries. These are organic. They're Driscoll's. They're delicious. Publix sometimes has some BOGO. Even blueberries. These are great finger snacks for the kids to eat, right? Don't forget our banana. And then we have mandarins, or even oranges are really good. These are like little snacks for the kids to have. We have apples, fresh ones. Now, I saw the other day in the grocery market, there was these, this popular kids brand apple slices. And I understand that we have to do what we can, but I also want you to pay mind to what is inside of there. There are definitely some other ingredients like citric acid. There's like this, watery texture inside of it to preserve it. Whereas we could just do a whole apple and maybe just even cut up a slice and, or just look for mini apples. Like they do sell miniature apples in the bags. I saw them at Publix. They're not as big as this one, but they're smaller. And we have potatoes, gluten-free. You can make French fries with them, make hash browns, so many things to do with potatoes. And these are all like, they're whole raw foods, right? We can just eat, well, you can't just eat the potato, you have to cook it. But certain foods you could just eat, right? As nice little snacks. And that's what we kind of have to focus on too. So when we are starting to eliminate foods, it's more like, oh my God, which processed foods? But, that's how our thinking was too. So that's why I could relate to you. So when I think about it, I'm like, okay, even nowadays, I feel like we're eating a lot of processed foods. We need to go back to our fresh foods. Let's start making sure we're getting more berries and smoothies. And that's why I wanted to bring out the berries. And also, like, my favorite is Butterleaf Plus for making smoothies with any of these fruits, right? And then I have strawberries. That's all I have. Oh, one more thing. Yogurt. Our diet mainly consisted of Greek yogurt, right? We were eating the fruit-flavored yogurts, and then we're eating Greek yogurt because it's more healthier for you. And then, of course, we have dairy sensitivities and allergies. So we use coconut yogurt. And again, just turning over the label. It's made with organic coconuts, water, and then tapioca vegan probiotic cultures. So a little bit more added things in there. But check and see how you feel. That's the main thing I want you to take away. See how you feel. It's not just removing one food or multiple foods. It's also knowing how your body is reacting to taking the food out and then putting it back in. That's all I have for today. These videos aren't meant to be really long. They're just meant to be like 15 to 20 minutes, just covering some topics that I get either in my DMs or whatever questions you have. So if you do have any questions for me, feel free to DM me, to comment, to post, and I'll see what we'll talk about next week. Take care.